An Ontario Superior Court justice on Friday approved a motion to liquidate all remaining Sears Canada stores, ending a retail empire that served generations of Canadians. More on Sears Canada liquidation. Sales are scheduled to begin October 19 and finish no later than January 21. It is difficult to find the right words at times such as this, said Susan Ursula Versal Phillips Fellows Hopkinson, the law firm representing Sears employees. Speaking in court, this company has touched the lives of generations of Canadians. Ursula asked Justice Glenn Haney to recognize the work the employees have done and are doing to keep the company going, even though they will be losing their jobs and won't be getting any severance packages to tide them over until they find new work. These employees truly deserve the thanks and appreciation of all the shareholders in this proceeding for their past and continuing efforts, said Ursel. There are about 12,000 people still working for Sears Canada, after thousands more were let go from head office and in the first wave of store closures. Sears Canada announced in June it plans to close 59 locations and cut 2,900 jobs under a court-supervised restructuring. Here's a look at the history of the retail giant. The Canadian press at its height, Sears Canada employed more than 40,000 people. It's not just the loss of a job for me, said Blaise Lyle, 58, a former Sears employee who attended the court hearing in downtown Toronto. Lyle worked for Sears for 39 years. He was let go from his job as an in-store marketing manager at head office on June 22 when the company first sought creditor protection. It's the end of an era for a lot of Canadians. 74 full-line department stores remain to be closed, along with 8 Sears home stores and 49 hometown stores. Hometown dealers will be permitted to run their own liquidation sales, though they must conform to the same guidelines as the professional liquidators who have been hired to wind down the other stores. After paying for costs, proceeds from asset sales will be distributed to creditors around the globe. Outside the courtroom, Andrew Hatney, a Koski-Minsky lawyer representing Sears pensioners, said his group will move to get their claim paid first, ahead of other creditors. The pension fund is owed more than $260 million. The retirees are obviously very concerned with the announcement that the company will be liquidating, said Hatney. A bid by Sears Canada Executive Chairman Brandon Stranzel to continue operating the company as a going concern has not been successful, but a legal window of opportunity has been left open for Sears to accept an offer up until October 19. Hatney declined to comment on the likelihood of an 11th or bid succeeding. It's a complicated commercial transaction, said Hatney. Stranzel contributed his $500,000 retention bonus to an employee hardship fund. The shutdown of Sears will release 16 million square feet of retail space into the retail real estate market in Canada, 2 years after Target decamped, leaving 140 properties to fill. How hard it will hit that market and the shareholders who invest in it through pensions or real estate investment trusts remains to be seen. For landlords, Sears is an inconvenient tenant to lose, in that it occupies large and difficult to repurpose space, often over 2 or more stories, said real estate analyst Alex Avery, formerly of CIBC World Markets. However, it has been years since Sears functioned properly as an anchor tenant, driving consumer foot traffic, making its departure less impactful, and offering landlords the opportunity to attract new and more dynamic retailers that will be more successful in driving more shoppers into the centers. Sears first moved into Canada in 1952 as a partnership with Simpson's national mail-order business. It opened its first bricks-and-mortar location in Stratford a year later. Avery pointed out that Sears, having negotiated its leases long ago and at favorable rates because it was an anchor, paid extremely low rents, amounting to less than 1% of rents for Canadian REITs that have exposure to Sears stores. There is no doubt that Sears liquidation will result in some malls closing in Canada, but these instances are likely to be only a handful, and in very marginal tertiary markets, where the malls were already functionally obsolete and being propped up only by Sears' presence, said Avery. REITs themselves are also focused on opportunities to create value, most commonly by adding apartments and condos in hot housing markets, said Avery, adding that the longer-term outlook for REITs is positive. Tony Hernandez, director and Eaton chair in retailing at the Center for the Study of Commercial Activity (CSCA) at Ryerson University, said that the impact will play out market by market. In some cases, the loss will act as a catalyst, fast-tracking renovation and redevelopment projects. Mid-sized malls in smaller markets will likely find it more challenging to fill the space. Hernandez pointed out that the major pension funds in Canada that directly or indirectly own retail real estate have shifted their focus over recent years to investing in the larger malls in major markets and have been undertaking renovations and redevelopments to maintain the currency of their Canadian retail properties. The difference between Target and Sears is experience, according to brokers. I think the landlord community learned a heck of a lot from Target, and I think many of them, not all of them, but many of them, have been working on this for quite some time, said Tim Sanderson, Chief Executive Officer and Broker of Record for Northwest Atlantic Canada Inc. Brokerage.